Hello everyone. My name is Daniel Rott. Welcome to my TED Talk. Today, we are going to talk about family and domestic violence. What is family violence? First, who do you consider to be your family? Just as vague as that definition, is the definition of family violence. Generally there are two major factors present: intimacy, and a care-type dependency relationship. Groups most likely to be impacted: women, especially younger women. Women in families that experience economic hardship. People in relationships that involve drug and alcohol abuse. Women who are in non-married intimate relationships. Women who have recently left a violent relationship. People who have experienced domestic violence in their childhood. People who experience domestic violence in their adulthood but in a different way, as they usually suffer from depression and anxiety in future relationships, which often paves the path for a totally new dynamic of domestic violence. The places people spent their youth can significantly impact their likelihood of experiencing domestic violence. For example, in India, domestic violence is considered a public health problem. In Afghanistan, 46% of women surveyed say they regularly experience domestic violence. In Turkey, the number is one-quarter that amount, at around 11%. In Spain, that number is just one-fifth of Turkey, at around 2%. Back at home in the US, we have our own alarming statistics. For example, in the US, over half of the people who are homeless because they fled a violent relationship. In the US, a woman is beaten by her significant other every 9 seconds. This one was crazy for me. In the US, domestic violence is the #1 cause of injury for women. Only about 30% of those women will seek treatment for these injuries. People who witness domestic violence in their childhood are 2 times more likely to be violent in their relationship than those who did not witness it as a child. Half of all murdered women are murdered by a husband or a boyfriend. Women who are victims of domestic violence very often never report the situations they find themselves in. One of the biggest reasons women give for not reporting the violence to the police is that they depend on their husband's income, and do not want him to go to jail. A common question asked is the one about race. When comparing income and poverty levels, it is apparent that families that experience greater amounts of financial difficulty are more likely to experience violence in their relationship. When you compare various races at equal income brackets, you find that there is almost no difference in domestic violence between races. So a white family that has the same income levels and quality of life as a black family down the block, neither family has a higher likelihood to experience domestic violence. Luckily, since the 1990s, there has been a major decline in the level of overall criminal violence. For the first time since I started speaking, I am happy to say that. Domestic violence alone dropped about 50% in the 90s, and another 40% since then. We have had advances in rapid assessment, civil protection orders, court-ordered treatment, domestic violence courts and other community services for domestic violence victims. If you or someone you know needs help getting out of a violent domestic situation, you can contact the National Domestic Violence Hotline 24/7 at 1-800-799-7233. Again, my name is Daniel Rott. Thank you for listening to my TED Talk.